How you guys doing? Today, I want to talk about what the banks look at to approve you for credit. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from management to owning 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. For those of you who are new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. Okay, down below, click the link. 25 people for free credit repair. I will be announcing the winners, not this Monday coming up, but the following Monday. I will be announcing the winners. We will be signing you up and getting you started. 6 months of free credit repair. For those of you who have not opted in, click the link below. Be sure to watch the video. It'll explain to you what you have to do in order to enter. Let's get right into it. What are banks looking at to approve you for credit? Now, I want to take you guys down a little journey. Give you an introduction with regards to this issue and how I feel about it, and I'm gonna give you 2 scenarios with regards to understanding. Now, around 8 years old, the tender age of 8 years old, I believe I was in about the 3rd grade, 4th grade, one of those grades. I remember going to school, and at the beginning of the week, we got 10 spelling words that we had to learn how to spell. And then on Friday, when Friday came, throughout the week, you're supposed to study them. Friday, you would have a spelling test, right? And out of those 10 accounts, basically those 10 words, you had to actually learn them and how to spell them. And then it came Friday, you had to spell them out. You got a certain amount of time, and she would ask what the word is, and you would just have to spell it out. At that small, young, tender age of 8, I understood the concept because it was something we were doing since about the 1st grade, that come Friday, if I did not study, if I did not have the knowledge with regards to studying these words, I didn't go in there expecting to pass, right? I knew, okay, these words outside of the ones that I knew how to spell, which probably be 3 to 5 without actually studying typically, and there were always about 5 that, I would have to learn. And if during the week I didn't learn those words, come Friday, I knew I was gonna fail. So what would happen? Friday, I would come in, I'd be sort of kind of embarrassed. I would try and make any kind of excuse not to be there or whatnot. And I wouldn't, I knew I was going to fail the test, right? So now, let me paint another scenario. So now I'm 23 years old, 24 years old. And it's like, okay, I need to get a loan for a car. I need a car. Now this time, I wake up in the morning, and getting this loan has been on my mind for the last 2 days. So my thought process is at this time, okay, I'm gonna get in the car, I'm gonna go down to the bank. You walk inside of the bank, right? So as soon as you open the doors, you walk inside the bank, there's typically some type of person to greet you. Hey, how may I help you? I'm looking for a car loan. Okay, no problem. They'll ask your information, put it down, and have you go sit down and wait for a loan officer to come. So during this whole time, I remember being so nervous and so scared and so forth with regards to it. And then all of a sudden, the loan officer comes out, sitting down in that chair for about 5 to 10 minutes. He comes out, hey, Mr. Jones, let's come back. You're looking for a car loan, let's come on back. He greets you with a great big smile. He walks you back to either his office or some back area where they do that, typically a desk or something along those lines. Ask you a few questions with regards to your income, where you're working at, and then your social security number and so forth. The most important thing, because why? They're going to pull a copy of your credit report. Pull a copy of my credit report. He does like one of those types of things, looks down, and basically tells me they can't approve me for a car loan. And so then in embarrassment, I have to get up, I have to tell him thank you, I have to shake this guy's hand, and I have to walk out. And of course, before I do that, I ask him why I didn't, what's the reason why I didn't get approved? And they tell me, you know what, there's some issues with your credit, but they'll send a letter out in the mail to you 4 to 5 business days explaining to you why you didn't do it. So now you have to do the walk of shame out of the bank, back into the beat up, messed up car that I had that's barely hanging on 2 strings, back to the house. Now, the reason why I tell you guys that story is because similar to as a kid, when we know and we understood that if we didn't study and we didn't do our homework, we were going to fail with credit for some odd reason, it skipped my mind. The reality is I should have done my homework. I should have understood what was on my credit profile. I should have understood that there are 3 major credit bureaus. I should have understood what an actual credit score, FICO score, Vantage score is. These types of things, because the more and more knowledge that I have, the better information I have with regards to getting approved for loans, right? The more you study with regards to credit repair and understanding that, the better your odds are and the less embarrassment you're going to have to deal with. And as I grow and I understand credit, now I'm at the place where if I'm wanting some type of credit, I know that I'm going to get the lowest interest rate as possible, whatever it is that they offer, number 1. And number 2, I know I'm going to get approved, right? And so that's where you want to be. You got to do your homework with regards to this. Each and every one of you guys click this video. Obviously, you want to understand what it is that you need to do with regards to building credit. And so that is it. So what the banks look at to approve you. Number 1, the first thing that they look at is your credit score. Obviously, they look at your credit score. That gives them a read of who you are and what it is that you're trying to do. Obviously, you want to be in about the 740 or above to make sure that you will get approved. The reality is people get approved for car loans in the low 5s, depending on your finances, but you're going to pay a high interest rate. But the first thing that a creditor looks at, the bank looks at, is that FICO score. That is your grade with regards to whether or not, that gives them a bird's eye view of whether or not they're going to even test or even go through and try and get you a loan. Number 2 is your history of payments. One of the things you learn in school, same exact thing is if you want to know what's going on in the future, you have to study the past. Everything just keeps recycling on and on and on and on and on. And how people handle stuff in the past and what transpires in this past will teach you what to do in the future. So they look at your credit history. If you got late payments in the past, chances are you're going to have late payments in the future. If you got derogatory accounts and so forth from the past, chances are that you may default on your loan here. Number 3 is your public record. When I say public record, we're talking about judgments, we're talking about liens. Looking at that information, if you have public records on your credit report, bankruptcies, judgments, and liens and so forth, then as a creditor, why would I give you a loan? Why would I approve you for a loan if I see that your history, you've allowed stuff to go to collections and you don't pay it? You allow the judgment, you allow the lien on a property or something along those lines. Not trying to be harsh with you guys, but I'm trying to give you the understanding so that when you go inside of a spot and you're not approved for a loan, you're not upset at the person. You should be upset at yourself because you have to do your homework. One of the other last things that they look at is your debt to income ratio, right? They don't want to give you a loan. I don't care how good your FICO score is. If on paper with your numbers, it shows that you can't afford that car payment. It shows that you can't afford that mortgage payment, if in fact that is. And when I say your debt to income ratio, it's basically like this: how much bills is coming out of your pocket and how much money is left over. That leftover amount of money typically is going to determine whether you get that loan or whatnot, right? And so it's very important to understand these 4 concepts, these 4 situations, which will definitely let you know if you're going to get approved or not approved. So keep that in mind. The more homework you do with regards to credit repair, the more better prepared you'll be, and the more prepared you'll be, the more money you'll save, and it increases your chances of getting approved for loans. Now, if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as I always state, you be great.